Welcome back to Beholder to One Shot. We are here today with part 2 of our Savage Worlds Deadlands game with Ellen, Alan, and Mary. We also have Keith here, my husband, who will be playing Brother Wolf for Greg. And we will go ahead and introduce everybody again. Ellen, why don't you get started and tell us where everybody can find you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Ellen Delina. You can find me at Ellen_Delina on Twitter. Or you could find me GMing the Birdhouse Mysteries, a Savage Worlds actual play fantasy podcast. That's at Birdhouse Myst, MYST on Twitter. Yeah, that's who I am. I'm your Marshal today.
Okay. Alan, your turn.
Hi, I'm Alan Holloway, and you can find me on Twitter at TTRPG, as well as all the other social media platforms. I'm most likely you can find me Friday nights over on twitch.tv/mini-terrain-domain, where I run a Cursive Strahd 5e campaign. And on alternate Wednesdays, you can find me on my own Twitch channel at CFTRPG, where I run a Savage Worlds version of Cursive Strahd that Ellen also plays in. Yeah, and I'm excited to play. I'm excited to get back into Jericho McCraw, the bounty hunter, in this Savage Worlds one shot.
That is the 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah, that's how it starts, and then it's a campaign.
I don't have time for that, please now. Mary, your turn.
Hey everybody, I'm Mary Kate Mead. You can find me on Twitter at NerdOnWheels15, and I do a lot with the GM table. We do actual plays for performers by performers, and you can check out our stuff there. We also have a YouTube channel where we go over different types of gaming and how to GM. And tonight I'm playing Eliza O'Day, the huckster that isn't totally manipulative, but she'll use you to get what she wants.
Fantastic. I will be playing Annabelle McDrew. I'm Nikki, obviously the host here. And Keith will be playing Brother Wolf. Annabelle has a little bit of a drinking problem and likes to shoot first and ask questions later. And Brother Wolf is... Would you like to introduce, or would you like me to?
I would. So I'm Keith Yeager. I am Nikki's super amazing husband. You can find me on Twitter at Keith_bits. And I don't do a whole lot of D&D stuff, but I have some on there, mostly like web development and stuff like that. But I do love D&D. I play it all the time. And I will be filling in for Greg today, and hopefully not ruining his character. So
He also made our website, so if you want to check that out, beholdertoknoone.com. And you want to hire him to make you a website. That might, I don't know, maybe that's an option. I don't know.
yes.
It's an option, guys. Do it. Anyway, Ellen, why don't you take it away?
Sure. Okay, so the game is Savage Worlds. The setting is Deadlands. Last time, you guys made a whole bunch of friends in the town of Coffin Rock. You arrived, you promptly went to the hotel, which had a previous name, but the remaining letters on the hotel read Crimea River Hotel. It is owned and manned by a incredibly depressed individual whose name you did not get. You got yourself settled in town and then went directly to the schoolhouse, which had caught the eye of some of your party as you walked into town, and discovered that there was a child wraith there who was very angry at the fact that anybody would be coming into the schoolhouse, and decided to throw chairs and tables and stuff everywhere. You guys were able to find the remains of this poor little girl and put her to rest, and that got rid of the wraith. Then you went to the tavern in town, 6 feet under. Everything has a kind of gloomy motif in Coffin Rock. At the tavern, you discussed various things with various people, got some information out of some miners and the mayor and the piano player and the bartender, but not a lot of information overall. Just generally that the town was in dire straits. Then you went to the church, asking after the reverend, who you were told by the deacon was out and about in the hills trying to put an end to the evil that is plaguing this town. So you guys were following up on that when you heard a gunshot ring out throughout the town, and you went out into the streets to find the Marshal, whom you had met previously and who had wanted you to get out of town very promptly the next morning. His deputies were dragging the body of a possible miner through the streets and did not take too kindly to you questioning them. And a firefight ensued where the rest of the deputies and the Marshal came out into the streets. You got into a huge firefight, and now you guys stand there in the middle of the main street, the Marshal and all of the deputies dead, and that is where you have left off. Sorry for that very long-winded repetition of what happened last time, but I was remembering it as I went.
So much for asking questions. Though I believe we ended with, or after we stopped recording, I believe we decided we needed to go talk to the deacon at the church and find out how the heck he knew every time somebody died.
Oh, yes. That was something I left out of my recap. Every time somebody died, the bell rang. So you guys did note that as it happened. But yeah, so that's where you are, and that's what's going on.
So now that no one's here to arrest us, you guys want to go talk to a deacon?
I was going to say, I think first we should search the Marshal and see if he's got any further information that would may lend to what's going on.
That is a fair point. We should do that.
That may be a good idea.
I should also open up my character sheet.
Oh, and you guys all received a Benny at the end of last session for dealing with the Marshal and his deputies. So you guys can have that Benny now because we ended then. So you guys can all have 4 except for Annabelle, who I believe is lucky, and we'll have 5 now.
Hooray!
And Keith, have you played Savage Worlds before?
I have not.
Okay, so bennies are poker chips that you get to use to reroll rolls and soak up damage and do a couple other things, but those are the 2 main things you use them for. And otherwise, I will be asking for specific rolls and telling you what to roll at the time that it happens. So the main things to know about Savage Worlds are that dice explode. So if you roll a 6 on a 6 or a 4 on a 4 or an 8 on an 8, you roll it again and you add it together because it aced. So that's fun. And you always roll your wild die, which is a d6, whenever you are making your rolls. Because you are a wild card, you are one of the main characters. So, Nikki, you can choose to cut that out or not, depending on what you want to do. I just wanted to give Keith a brief overview, because I realized I hadn't. Sorry about that.
That's right. I got a very short, brief intro to it, and I think I might have the hang of it from listening to the last episode. So, hopefully.
Well, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I will do so.
All right. So you guys are going and investigating the Marshal's body?
Yes.
All right. Roll notice. Whoever's doing it.
I will say not it, because I'm bad at notice.
All right, Jericho got a 5.
5? Okay.
Yes.
You find $75 on his person. And you find his weapons, which are no better than your weapons. They are a little worse for wear because they fell into the ground when he fell to the ground and died. So you could take his pistol if you wanted, but it's nothing better than what you guys have already. And you do not find anything else on his person.
I will try searching somebody else. Just like a random person.
Okay, you're going to search somebody else? Go ahead and roll notice.
I got 3.
3? Okay. You kind of gently pat the body. It is bloody, it is dirty, and it was dirty before it even landed in the dirt. Like, he clearly had not kept up with his hygiene, this deputy. You don't dig too deep, so you don't find anything of particular note. You find his Colt Frontier. It has probably 4 shots in it.
Mine's better.
You guys could have the ammo if you wanted. That's always an option.
I think I'm good on ammo, too.
Okay.
Brother Wolf will ask out to the rest of the group. Did anybody else get injured in that firefight?
No.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think all the wounds that happened were either soaked or healed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Jericho got grazed, but not actually wounded.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw him earlier. He seems to be holding up pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I think the only thing of point that Jericho would do is he'll take that Marshal's badge
Okay.
off his body, as he obviously was not fit to wear it, and he'll just stow it like in a pocket in his duster. He's not going to put it on or anything, but he's definitely going to take it off the Marshal.
You don't want to be the new Marshal in town?
Oh no. Don't put that responsibility on me.
I think this town needs a lot more than a Marshal at this point.
They also need 6 deputies. I don't know why they needed 6 of them, but sure.
But they don't. Okay, so we didn't notice outside of money and weapons, no identifying markers or anything like that.
Nothing you found on the bodies, no.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I think we can go back to the church and figure out why was there a death chime every time a body hit the floor.
I'm gonna stand back and wait for Eliza, and wait for the other 2 to walk ahead a little bit to talk to Eliza privately.
Okay.
Noticing that, Eliza will definitely wait back to talk to the lovely gunslinger.
I don't know if I was seeing things, but what were you doing with those cards? That was some cool shit.
It's just some tricks I learned. I've just been out on the road for a while. You figure out how to make anything into a weapon. I'm sure you know that.
That's a good point. You need to show me those tricks one day. That would be great at poker.
Well, maybe I can. We'll see. But maybe after we talk to the church, I want to check the marshal's office, or at least the sheriff, see what he has. I doubt he's dumb enough to keep it on.
That's a good call. I wonder if there's any more deputies alive.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
Alright, that's all I wanted to say. I didn't want to say it in front of anybody in case it was a secret.
Okay. So you guys make your way down 2nd Avenue, in front of the hardware store and the smith and the boarding house. Take a right and head past the cemetery towards the church. And you are fully able to just head right on in the church if that's what you'd like.
I will look at Brother Wolf and go, would you like to lead the way, sir? You seem to have a better way of talking to these people.
Sure, I will give that a shot. Can we see the bell from here?
Yeah, you can, from the outside.
Yeah, does anything look unnatural about it at all? Or is it just like a standard chapel bell?
It looks like a big chapel bell.
Okay. And then I guess Brother Wolf will just open the doors and... Well, first I'll take a peek inside and see if there's anything weird going on that shouldn't be.
Go ahead and roll notice.
Okay. There's a 6.
Was it on a d6?
Yes.
Okay, roll it again.
Another 6.
Okay, roll again.
So 13 in total.
13 total. Okay. So, as you peek in, you can see the deacon, Deacon Plume, near the copper altar at the other end of the church. And you see just barely what looks like the shadow of another person kind of almost slip into / behind the altar, and you see them disappear. But you saw that the deacon was speaking to somebody. You can't hear it, but that you can't quite make sense of what you were seeing. But it looked like they kind of, this individual that you can't tell what they look like, kind of disappeared near the altar.
Okay, and I will mention to the group, it looks like the deacon's in there, and there was somebody else, I think, but they kind of disappeared near the altar, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but he's not alone. That's for sure.
You also saw the other, like, dozen or so men and women who were followers who are just milling about, like, praying and doing stuff like that. They weren't doing anything notable, though.
But there are some other civilians in there, so I wouldn't just go in guns blazing if that's what you intend to do. I'd like to avoid any unnecessary bloodshed if possible in this house.
We only shot the deputies because they threatened us first.
Well, hopefully they don't threaten you as well.
Hopefully. I'd be concerned.
Brother Wolf will head inside.
Okay. And the deacon takes note of you as you walk in. He goes, you've returned. What was all that firefighting outside?
That's what we came to ask you.
We were here, tending to the house of God.
Does the house of God know precisely when somebody dies? Because this bell up here seemed to go off every time, almost instantly, when somebody else was killed. And that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
I'm sure you must be mistaken.
Oh, there's no mistaking that bell.
Would I have been able to walk in behind him and, like, overhear the conversation?
Yeah, well, I was assuming that you guys were all coming in.
Okay, then I will speak up and say, when we were here earlier, the bell very obviously rung, and I'm pretty sure it was at the precise moment that our two friends over here saw somebody get shot. It was very obviously heard. There's no way you couldn't have heard it.
Oh, I'm not denying that I heard the bell. I'm just saying it seems unlikely that this would have happened at the precise time of death of...
8 times. Exactly. Every time.
You're more than welcome to go investigate the bell.
I think he's hiding something. Saying out of character.
Roll notice if you want to see if he's hiding
something. But I'm
something.
so bad at notice.
Well, you think he's hiding something.
I do, but I'm so bad at it. Oh, hey.
Eliza hasn't gone in the actual church. She's kind of peeking around back to see if there's anything weird. Just thought I should put that out there.
There is a door around back that probably comes in, like, near the altar, just based on, not geography, because that's not the right word, but just based on, like, architecture. That's the right word.
Gotcha.
But other than that, I mean, the stained glass windows are visible and beautiful but eerie from the outside. And other than that, you don't see anything that's particularly out of place around back.
Okay. I was mainly checking to see if there was any kind of secret door or escape hatch, just in case.
I mean, the door back there is not a secret. It looks like it's probably unlocked even.
I guess I'll kind of sneak on up and try and stealthily open the door and listen in without having to go in.
Okay. They are at the front of the church, like where the front doors are, so you are kind of far from them. So their conversation would be muffled.
No problem there.
Okay. But otherwise, you just hear the sound of someone probably sweeping, you would guess, near the altar, near where you are. And you hear muttered prayers. Actually, go ahead and make a notice roll, Eliza.
Okay. All right. That is a 4.
4? You can tell it's prayer just by, like, the cadence, but you can't hear any specific words. So you don't get anything in particular out of that listening in.
Gotcha. I'll just keep an eye just in case someone tries to sneak up on them.
Okay, sounds good. And Jericho, had you gone in with Brother Wolf and Annabelle, or were you outside with Eliza?
No, I had gone in, and I was going to see if I could take a gander at the altar or parapet or whatever it is that's at where Brother Wolf had said somebody had disappeared.
Yeah, he had said that was about the copper altar.
Copper altar, okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to make my way over there and just see if I can notice any strange markings on the... He says somebody disappeared, so I'm looking for any sort of strange markings that would indicate maybe a trap door or something.
Okay. Roll notice. A lot of notice checks so far.
I rolled an 8 on mine, by the way.
Okay. And you were noticing if he was lying.
If he was being shifty.
Right. And you can tell that he's being a little too calm about things, especially given the fact that you just reported that perhaps 8 people had died in the streets. So he's being very, very chill about this. It doesn't seem to have the appropriate amount of reaction to the things you're saying.
Have you no feelings, man? I don't say that. I'm waiting for other people.
Alright, I rolled a 5 on my notice.
Okay. You don't see any kind of markings that would indicate that this altar ever moves, and it looks very heavy. So there's nothing to indicate that it could be moved, like there's a trapdoor under it or something like that. But it does catch your eye in the same way. Oh, actually, you hadn't come in the church earlier, had you?
No, this is the first time.
So it catches your eye. This altar reflects the church back perfectly. Like, it's seamless. There aren't any distortions caused by the contours. And it's very unsettling to look at.
All right. So yeah, after looking this over as best I can, I think I would turn back over to Brother Wolf and Annabelle, and I think unless one of you want to take a look at that bell, I think we've learned all we can here. I'd like to go to the Marshal's office, see if there's anything else there.
I'd like to know why the deacon here doesn't seem very concerned about the deaths I just mentioned.
I might have a way of figuring that out. And Brother Wolf will pull out a Bible from his pocket.
Okay.
And he's going to walk up to the altar a little cautiously because he doesn't know what's going on. But he's going to walk up to the altar and the deacon with the Bible.
Okay.
And assuming he gets to the altar just fine, he's going to hold it out to the deacon and say to the deacon, it's like, in the name of the Almighty himself, are you honestly and 100% sure you have no idea what's going on here? Would you swear to that? And I'm just going to be watching his face closely to see if he does anything that would suggest that otherwise.
I stand before you as a deacon of the Brotherhood of the New Covenant.
Then place your hand on this Bible and swear that.
And he does. He says, I have done nothing to mislead you, brother. But you can go ahead and roll notice to see if he's done anything to mislead you.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. That is a 6.
On the D6?
No.
Oh, okay. Just total. Okay.
Yeah.
He has that same like incredibly placid look that Annabelle noticed off of him. But it does occur to you. Well, actually, roll no, because you got a 6 on your nose. That's fine. The Brotherhood of the New Covenant. He has said this before, and you're not sure what that is, but it's not a sect of religion that you've heard of before.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not quite sure what he's on about.
I will ask him if he's willing to teach me about this brotherhood?
Oh, well, that's really Reverend Cheval's duty. I'm just here to keep the flock in line while he's gone.
So you're not willing to teach a potential believer to what your religion is about? It seems a little odd.
I just mean that it's not really my place to do so. That's Reverend Cheval's place.
And isn't that kind of the place of everybody in this house, is to spread the word and get more followers?
Found that the followers that we had before we came to Coffin Rock are approximately the only ones we were going to have. This town has, to some degree, rejected our teachings and our beliefs, and chooses to wallow in the evils that exist here.
Evils? What evils?
Oh, well, of course. The typical sins. Drink and gambling.
In the background, Annabelle is sipping on a flask as he says drinks.
The normal vices.
Okay. Well, I suppose I will leave you to your prayer then. And if we have any more questions, we know where to find you. And he'll take a small bow and then head back towards the rest of the group.
Are you guys hanging around in the church, or?
As we're leaving, I'm just gonna be like, I think he's full of shit.
Yeah, something seems odd about him. He's a little too chipper for what's going on in this town. Even some of the greatest priests I know would not be handling this kind of scenery very well. It's almost like he has no emotions or something. I don't know. It's odd.
Well, I know Eliza wanted to go check out the Marshal's office, and Jericho mentioned it as well. I look around, where is Eliza? And the camera pans to
Eliza, are you still around the back of the church?
Oh yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting until like after they leave, because that's when people actually talk. I'm lurking.
Okay. You see the deacon go over and talk to one of these adherents of the Brotherhood of the New Covenant. Go ahead and roll notice.
I'm gonna use a Benny.
Okay.
It exploded. So that's an 8.
8. Okay. You hear the deacon say some you hear him say some innocuous things about like keeping the church clean and stuff like that. But then you also hear him say it would not do for this group to go near the mines. And that's all you hear before he kind of drifts away.
All right, I'll gently close the door and walk proudly back to the group.
As I'm going through, I'm like, oh, there you are. Eliza, you're heading to the Marshal's office.
I think it might be better to actually go towards the mines. Apparently they don't want us there.
Well, if they don't want us there, then that's where we want to be.
Didn't they, wasn't there somebody earlier mentioning the mines too?
I believe so.
Well, you talked to a bunch of miners, so they would have come from the mines.
Oh, the miners keep dying as they head to the mines, which makes me think that the mines are, yes, that sounds reasonable to me.
I mean, if there's any place for evil to hide out, it would definitely be a cave deep in the earth.
Well, make sure your ammunition is stocked. Firearms are reloaded. If there's more of these deputies or anyone else there, best be on our toes.
All right. So are you guys gonna
I think I have everything.
head outside of town? Did anybody find out where the mines were, or?
I don't remember.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I guess we can go back to the saloon and ask the mayor, right? Where the...
You can either talk to the mayor or probably check the marshals. He's probably got a map or two.
That's true. The marshal's office is... I'm looking at the map.
It's the sheriff. It's next to the bank.
So we have to pass the saloon to get to the marshal's office.
2 birds, 1 stone. I guess half of us could go to the saloon, half of us go to the marshal's office. Get it done quick.
You want to go down 3rd Avenue, we could see if the mayor went to his place first.
True.
Because see if it passed by there first. He might still be drinking though. Well, he was drinking. Who was the one that saw us shooting people? Was it the bartender?
Well, it was everyone in the saloon, basically, because you shot a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think with what's going on in this town, I don't really think we want to be splitting up very much.
No, I wasn't saying we split up. I was saying if we go down 3rd Avenue, we can go up Main Street, past the mayor's house, then the saloon, and then to the sheriff.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Out of character, I don't know how I know where all these things are, but whatever.
As you walk down 3rd Avenue and then up Main Street, you stop by the building that had mayor written on it, and it has been boarded up. So you might not have noticed. You might not have noticed earlier, but it's not freshly boarded up. It looks like the boards have been there for a while. They're weathered. Whatever use the office was previously, it's no longer where the mayor appears to see people.
Interesting. Guess that is out. So.
Well, I'm normally one against this, but there still might be something worth finding in there.
Well, the mayor didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's a point of interest in case we need to come back.
So to the saloon.
And when you get to the saloon, the bartender is looking at you guys real hard as he's polishing a glass. But the mayor is still sitting there drinking absinthe.
I'll go up to the bar and just sit down and say, I could really use a drink. I mean, that sheriff shot at me. I'm a little scared.
He gets you a drink. It looks like it's probably whiskey. And he says 50 cents.
I'll hand him $1.
But, all right. And make a notice roll, actually, because you're looking at the bartender.
That is a 4.
Okay. You see, I can't remember if you were one of the ones who saw this last time or not. I don't believe you were.
No,
but
Jericho and Brother Wolf saw through the mirror.
Yes. The mirror, the cracked mirror that is running behind the bartender, you can see the eponymous Coffin Rock that this town is named for, the big cliff face. And on top of the cliff, there is steadily rising smoke, a little plume of smoke as if coming from a campfire or something similar on top of Coffin Rock. But you know, just based on this time geography, before it was architecture, that the cliff is not directly out of the bar in the direction that the mirror is facing. It is in a different direction. So it should not be possible that you are seeing this reflected the way you are.
Gotcha. Well, I'll look at the bartender and lean in and say, how did you get one of those weird science mirrors? That seems really cool.
not much, don't much look in the mirrors these days.
Oh, is there a reason for not doing it? I'm sorry. I just always like to check whether I'm looking prim and proper.
He says, don't necessarily like what you're gonna see in them.
Really? That seems odd.
And he goes back to polishing glasses.
Are the miners that were in here previously still in here?
No, they are not. And it looks like their game of cards was put down rather quickly because the cards are still on the table and the drinks are not finished on the table. So you think it...
Is the money still there?
Yeah, there's still a couple dollars on the table.
Okay, that's odd. So Brother Wolf will mention that to, I guess, probably Jericho. It's like, those miners, they seem to be in a hurry. They even left their winnings behind.
Oh, free money. Annabelle goes and grabs Allard by a drink.
No surprise there, being, a couple of deputies dragging a miner through streets. Go over and I walk over to the mayor and I grab a chair and reverse style, just side saddle him as I plop the chair down right there and then just straddle the chair in front of him. All right, Mayor. Things are not adding up. You got your sheriff and deputies dragging miners through the town. I don't even know what's happening over there at the church. And you don't seem forthcoming about what's really going on.
And he takes a shaky drink of his bottle of absinthe and he says, I've seen things, but I don't rightly know what they mean. I've seen some kind of... What have you seen? I don't know. I think it's just the old drink acting up. And he takes a bigger gulp, and it looks like you'd have to convince him to try to tell you more.
I will take that Marshal's badge from my duster, and I will set it down in front of him. And then I will take my Colt, or at least one of them, and I will set it on the table as well. And I'm going to try to intimidate him.
Okay. Roll intimidation.
Luckily, I have the edge menacing, which adds +2 to intimidation.
Oh my.
Ooh, that's one ace there. For a total of 10.
10. All right. He puts his bottle down and he looks at the badge. It has some blood splatter on it from you killing the marshal. And he says, there's some kind of spirit. It's spoken to me when I've been in my cups. I don't know who or what it is, but it's trapped here. And he looks around and he leans in closer and he says, and the Reverend is the one who's trapped it.
So with this, I think Jericho would be even more suspicious of that altar, being that it was so well crafted and made him uneasy to look at. All right. Well, that may explain what's happening at the church, but what's going on with the miners in the mine? Why was the sheriff and his deputies killing miners, stopping them from mining?
That was just a dispute. Drunken dispute. What you walked into and what you folk ended with your guns.
Oh.
They don't protect anyone, but they're not normally the cause of miners dying.
Okay. Well, let's say my interest is piqued here, Mayor. Fill me in. What exactly is killing these miners?
I don't know what it is, but if you go out into those hills, you'll find it.
Well, lucky for you, we just happen to be heading that way. So why don't you point us in the direction of these mines?
And he points blearily in like a northwesterly direction. He says, it's that away.
Right. And with that, I will grab his glass and whatever's in there. I'll shoot that, leave it, and I'll put his glass back down, upside down, as I have finished it. And then I will leave him.
Okay. And it was absinthe, so it is not delightful to take a shot of.
Nope, but it's been a really hard day, so...
Yeah.
And then I will make my way back over to Brother Wolf and Annabelle and Eliza. And I'll fill them in on what the mayor had given up. So clearly there's, which I'm sure we all had suspect, which something is not, something's up over there at the church. And I think it has something to do with that altar. And obviously the Reverend, who was not present during our visit, might know more.
Maybe he's got the lines.
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah, I don't think the deacon's going anywhere anytime soon. I think we need to check out these mines and see what's going on there.
Well, what time is it roughly?
Let's see, how much have you guys done today? Kind of a lot. It's did you guys go to sleep, and is it the next morning or the next day, or I don't...
No, we got to town, we dropped off our gear at the hotel, and then we immediately went and checked out the schoolhouse, and then from there the saloon and so forth. So we haven't really we really haven't stopped since we gotten into town.
Welcome to town. Bang, bang, bang. Kill all the people.
Yeah, basically. So it is probably past sunset at this point. It's probably like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Okay, so sun's already gone down, basically. Okay. Yeah, I agree that the mines are worth checking out. However, crossing over these hills in the dark, especially when we know that, we don't know what exactly has been keeping these miners away from the mines and or killing them. Save for it might have been the Marshal and his deputies, but seeing how we just put that problem to rest, so to speak, I'm still not 100% inclined to go searching in the dark when I don't know what can be out there. Probably best to visit this situation in the morning.
That may be best. We can only pray that no more miners die overnight.
Well, should we check the marshal's office last thing and head on off to bed?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Sounds good.
So you guys are going to head over to the sheriff's office?
Yeah, sheriff. I can't remember that myself.
I mean,
Yep.
It's both. It's either. You are able to open the door. It's unlocked. There is no one inside currently. You are in essentially the vestibule of it. So there's a hallway leading back towards where you assume there are jail cells. There are... everybody make a notice check.
So good at those. Nope, that's a 3.
7.
I'm gonna go ahead and spin a Benny, because why not?
Brother Wolf got 13.
Oh my.
Didn't matter. Still got the same thing. A 3.
Okay. Eliza and Brother Wolf notice this immediately. The wanted posters on the wall, they appear to be, at first glance, your faces. And they say wanted, dead or alive, and alive has been struck out. And then you look back after a second, and they appear to be other people. So not your faces anymore. But with those notice checks, that 13 Brother Wolf got, you do notice that there are several layers of wanted posters on the wall. And as you chip away at them and get to one towards the bottom, you see familiar faces. someone who looks like Marshal Bryce and some of his deputies, billed as the Rotten Catfish Gang.
Huh.
Well, that's mighty odd. There's wanted posters over there. They looked a lot like us, and then they weren't. And now they look like these other ones down in this pile here. They look like some of the other people we've met.
Well, the difference here is that that's printed, the other was in our heads.
Now, why would somebody who's wanted become a marshal unless they just took over the town and dubbed themselves the marshal after killing the original?
Yeah, maybe he wasn't the marshal after all. Maybe somebody playing the act.
Well, they're getting away with it because nobody's doing shit around here.
Well, he's dead now, isn't he?
They were getting away with it. Is there like a desk?
There is a door that you assume leads to an office.
Can I go in there?
Sure. The door sticks a little bit, but you do get it open.
I want to look around in there to see if I find anything from like the original Marshal.
Okay. Roll notice.
5.
Or did you say 5?
Yep.
Okay. You find about $325 more in the desk. And you also find some extra like sheriff's badges. Some of them look like they are like sheriff is spelled wrong on it. And you question the veracity of them. But other than that, you don't find anything other than additional torn up pieces of the same wanted posters for the Rotten Catfish Gang that Brother Wolf had found.
Okay. I will tuck that money into my corset, and then I will head back out of the room.
Okay.
Your Brother Wolf is going to take the wanted posters with him just to hold on to and maybe look at them every once in a while to see, because it looked like they kind of changed on him, so he kind of wants to see if he was just seeing things or if there's something else weird going on here.
Alright, so you tuck that away.
And there was nothing in here in this office regarding the person that we're after?
Archer?
Yes.
There is one wanted poster on the wall that has his name and the name of his gang on it. It has a crude drawing of what you assume to be his face. But that's all you find regarding that. There was something else in the desk that I forgot that you should have found. Well, actually, you only got a 5. Never mind. Redacted.
Too late now, Marshall.
Let's go check out that desk. There's more loot.
Guys, all I saw was some wanted posters in there. And a couple books. I don't know if I didn't really see much else, but...
I got an 11 on my notice.
Okay. So, as you look back through the drawers, there's a false bottom to one of them. And underneath is a stack of deeds to seemingly every joint in town. Like, the saloon's in here, daily mansion's in here, the mayor's office, the sheriff's office, the bank, everything. It's deeds to everything, and it's all collected right here under this false bottom of this desk drawer.
Looks like this gang was, well, doing a land grab. Buying up every property in town. Infiltrating the law. Obviously pistol whipping the mayor there.
And it has what is on the like who owns the
Most of the names say Daly. Let me see if he had a first name, but I don't remember his name. John Daly. So most of those deeds do say John Daly on them.
And have we met anyone by that name?
You have not.
Okay.
You could ask the mayor maybe if they recognize the name, but not sure.
Well, let's rest on it. Perhaps things will be clearer in the morning.
I think we definitely need to be a little bit more careful tonight, though. Because from what I saw, we were on those posters at one point, I'm fairly certain. And I don't... Considering what's been going around in this town, I don't necessarily think we're safe. I don't want anybody sneaking up on us in the middle of the night.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, at least we're sharing rooms, so maybe we could take watches or something.
So are you guys headed back to the hotel?
Yes, please.
Okay. You head eastward along First Avenue and catch sight of a building. Well, a partial building in the northeastern corner of town. It used to be what was probably a very, well, at least for a frontier town, a fine manor house. It was certainly large, but it is currently burned out and dilapidated. You can see part of an iron wrought gate that says Daily on.
And that's on where?
The northeastern part of town. So if you head east along First Avenue from the sheriff's office and you head down Daly Street
Gotcha.
toward the hotel.
Well, I think I found the Daily Feller's home.
Even has a street named after him.
Maybe we can ask maybe Eliza can flirt her way into some answers from the guy at the hotel.
Well, I can at least try. I mean, I can try to do I came into town and it's really late and try to get through the gate, or I can try other things. I mean, depends.
You're resourceful.
Does it look like there's anyone, watching the gate or anyone possibly in the house?
Daly's house? Daly's house is,
yeah.
is ruins. It's burned out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it once was a very nice house. It's now burned out ruins. So the only thing that's left is that iron wrought gate that says Daily on it. But from what you can tell, there's nobody around to be watching.
She's gonna look at Annabelle and say, "Give me a boost."
Okay.
I'm gonna try and get over the gate.
Not very strong, but sure, I give her a boost.
Okay.
Do I need
Alright.
to roll anything?
No, it's easy enough because you're not in a hurry or pressed for time. So you go in and around the wreckage, and there is little left here except for the blackened remains of a grand staircase and the collapsed walls of the ground floor. So you can take a look around, but
I just want to do a once over, just to kind of see if there's anything noticeable, anything shiny that didn't burn in the fire, things like that.
roll notice.
That's an ace. That's another ace. That's a 17.
As you're walking around the ground floor of the manor, you get to the back, and this part is particularly charred and burned up, and you get the impression that the fire started in the back in the outside of the building. And just based on the burn patterns on the walls, the fact that it looks like the fire started outside the building in the back and consumed the rest of the building from within once it had gotten through that back wall. So, and you can tell there wasn't a chimney there. There was a chimney elsewhere, and that is still, the brick is still kind of standing for that. So this area where the fire appears to have started, there was no chimney there.
So, arson.
That's the impression you're getting.
Interesting. Well, after doing a once over, I'll go back to the group and give the look of help me out, to get out. Or can the gate open? Because I'll just walk through the gate then.
Well, the gate does open, but it was very funny for you to go over it the first time.
Fantastic. That was easier than climbing over.
Definitely arson that happened here. I can tell you that 100%.
I wonder who did the arson. Honestly, it was probably the guys that were now sheriff. I wonder who Daly was. I wonder if he was the old mayor.
Maybe we go talk to people. It's pretty late, so I don't know how many people we'll be able to find, but if we can...
Talking to people might work. I don't know how many more answers the mayor's willing to give us, but maybe we can get one more out of him before we go to bed. No, let's just go to bed. We'll ask tomorrow.
We could go to bed, buy him a bottle of liquor. They like that, usually. That's that kind of man, if I'm right.
Or maybe he'll remember a little bit more when he's a little less drunk.
Hopefully he's not killed, though. Let's just hope that.
Yeah, hopefully. We can also ask the innkeeper. He might at least know who Daly was.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see what we can get out of the innkeeper, and we can follow up with the mayor later.
All right. So you guys head down Daly Street towards the hotel. You don't see anybody out on the streets. It is very quiet as night has settled in around Coffin Rock.
It's not because we killed like 8 something.
Well, maybe. You don't know. You don't know what it was like on a night like this before killing anybody.
That's fair.
But you head on into the hotel, and the back door behind the desk that led to what you assumed was an office or maybe personal quarters or something is closed, and you can hear some, probably, I was going to say quiet, but if you can hear it from the front door, it's probably kind of loud crying coming from that direction.
I'm not drunk enough for that. That's all on you, Eliza, if you want to talk to him.
Brother Wolf will definitely go over to see who's crying and
See
what's going on.
Okay, so are you gonna knock on the door, or are you just going up to listen?
I'll give a light
Brother
knock.
Wolf would knock. I don't know if he's fast enough.
All right, so you're as you get closer, you can hear, it sounds like a man crying and sobbing, really, just haunted sounds. And you're gonna knock?
Yeah.
So you go ahead and knock. The sobbing stops for a moment, and you hear the sounds of feet shuffling towards the door. And the innkeeper opens the door and looks at you with red eyes. Was there something you needed?
I was just checking in. You doing all right?
I'm doing the same as always.
Listen, I know I'm a stranger,
But I know what it's like to lose your better half.
He kind of just shakes his head and a few more tears fall down his face. He doesn't quite know what to say.
My husband was killed, and, well, all I'm going to say is, at least while I'm in town, if you just want someone to sit in the room, just so you don't have to have quiet, let me know.
Roll persuasion.
Okay. All right, that's a 6.
He takes a steadying breath and he says, that won't be necessary, but I appreciate your kindness. And he goes to, close the door again.
Brother Wolf, before he manages to close the door, he'll say, if you'd like, we could say a prayer. Maybe it'll make you feel a little better.
Now I have to decide if this man is prayerful or not. He says, I suppose it couldn't hurt.
Are there tables and chairs or anything like that out here? Or?
There's one little card table and one chair out in the lobby area of the hotel.
Okay. I guess we'll just stay here then. He'll pull out his Bible, his own personal Bible, and open it up to some random page, and he will begin praying for his wife and Eliza's husband, And he will say, I cry for those of us left behind, for the lovely ones with hollows in our hearts. I ask you to comfort us, give peace, restore hope, and lavish us with love, family, and belonging. In the depths of loss, meet us with yourself. And then he'll close the book.
The hotel owner, puts a hand on Brother Wolf's shoulder and says, thank you. And is gonna go back to his room if you guys aren't gonna stop him.
Yeah, I think he's had enough of today. He should get some rest.
Eliza and Brother Wolf make a notice check, because you guys are paying particular attention to him.
Wolf got a 7.
I got 5.
Okay. You both catch sight of something that seems to be hanging from the ceiling as he opens and closes the door, but that's all you got. You didn't see what it was.
Hanging from the ceiling?
That's unsettling.
Oh, this triggers Eliza hardcore. She's going in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brother Wolf will try and stop her, but at the same be like, I really want to know what's in there, but let the man rest. But he won't actually try and stop her. He's just like going through the motions, but not quite doing it.
Eliza's gonna push in after him. You see that he has hung up a noose, and he has a chair under it, and it might not be that he's looking to use it now, but he's certainly thinking about it at some point in the future.
Like, oh, my son, that's not what you need. That won't help you.
Eliza's eyes just go cold for a second, and then she looks to him dead in the eye. That kind of death is the worst type of death. First you start choking, then it tightens around your throat, your eyes bulge out of your head, and they start going red. And then you can't breathe, and then your neck breaks. Do you really want that to happen?
Please, just leave me to my own sorrows.
There is so much better out there. People are taken that way. It's not... Look, I've been there, alright? But that way to go, shoot yourself. She's just gonna walk out.
Okay.
Her brother Wolf will just say, there's healing for you. There's no need to bring an end to this like that. Will not bring her back. It won't make you feel better. It'll just doom you to eternal pain, more so than you've ever felt recently. And it is not what you need. If you want to feel better, read this. Maybe it'll help. You can only pray that it does. And he will hand him his own personal Bible. And
Persuasion. Roll persuasion.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
Okay. I know he's good at that.
You get a free reroll.
I do. Okay, well that is an ace. That is an 18.
18! He takes the Bible from you. Very quietly, he stands up on the chair, and for a second you get really worried, but then he begins taking the noose down. And when he takes the rope down, you see that it's actually like bed sheets or something. And he hands it off to you, and he says, "Thank you."
Thank you. If you ever need anybody to talk to, we will be here at least until we get this, whatever's plaguing this town, situated. But if you need somebody to talk to, I will be here.
Thank you, brother. And you guys all get a Benny for preventing that suicide.
Yay! I did nothing. I stayed quiet the entire time. That's why you all succeeded.
But get some rest tonight. You definitely need it. As do we. It's been a long day.
He nods and he walks you to the door. And he's gonna shut it behind you as you leave.
Well, that was... At least we could save somebody in this godforsaken town.
Well, we took 8 lives and saved 1, so... Doing great.
7 more to go.
Eliza, you ready to sleep?
Yeah, Eliza's just fuming in the corner, just she's triggered. It's bad.
I hand her my bottle of whiskey. Go, want some?
Yes.
It's almost completely empty, but you can finish the rest.
Yeah, Eliza will take some.
All right.
You all get some shut-eye. I'll take the first watch and make sure nobody comes sneaking up on us.
And Brother Wolf will stay up a little bit later because he wants to grab one of the Bibles he previously stashed in the end tables, and he's going to open it up and study it a little bit before he decides to go to sleep.
All right. So Jericho is taking first watch. Are you stationing yourself at a window in your room, or what are you doing?
Well, is the window from my room gonna overlook the front of this hotel, or?
You would probably be looking out towards the north of town, so you'd be able to see part of the cemetery and Daly Street.
I don't know if that'd give me the... I mean, I just want to ensure that if somebody's coming towards the hotel, I would notice them first. So wherever, if that's in the lobby or out front or wherever that may be.
Okay. So you take up a perch in the lobby. Around midnight, make a notice roll.
That's a 4.
4. Around midnight, you see some body or something come shuffling out from the direction of the cemetery and turn up Daly Street and go walking slowly, shuffling up the street.
Okay. Is it coming towards the hotel, or is it just going up Daly Street?
Well, initially it comes towards the hotel because it's leaving the gate to the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And so it looked at first like it was coming towards the hotel, and then it took a very sharp right to head up Daly Street.
All right. I think at that I would... perhaps I'd go find Brother Wolf and rouse him from sleep.
What's going on?
I don't quite rightly know. Somebody or something, well, just vamoosed out of the cemeteries and heading up Daly Street.
Anything coming from the cemetery at this time of night can't be good. I think we need to get the others and maybe catch up with whoever this was.
All right. So I guess we'll wake the gals.
5 more minutes.
There's no time to be sleeping. There's something afoot outside. Something from the graves.
It's probably some drunk visiting his wife or something.
I don't think so.
Oh, fine. Eliza. I nudged Eliza.
She's a heavy sleeper.
Well, Eliza probably wakes up and definitely will go get herself ready.
As I'm waiting for Eliza to get ready, I will make sure my gun is full.
Did you see this figure going into the graveyard at all, Jericho?
No, only leaving.
That's odd. Even more reason for us to check it out.
But it was heading up Daly Street.
Well, hopefully we can get there before anything might happen.
Well, there's not much up there, so...
So I'd make sure to take some sort of light source, a lamp or a lantern or something.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to take a lantern.
Okay. And then, just try to catch up to it.
And that is easy enough to do because even after waiting for Eliza to wake up, you get outside and you realize that this person who is walking down the street is not walking very well. It is moving very slowly, and the closer you get, the more you are able to tell that this is the charred and reanimated body of some person who has been dressed up in funeral clothing and has come out of the ground.